Hello Stampers, this is Sheila. I'm with Stamping Wishes. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And today I'm going to be showing you the gift box that has tissue in it. I actually saw this on, I believe it was Sally Stampers. It's the or the blog. And but anyway, I saw it and I thought, oh, what a perfect way to use some of my scrap stuff that I had. And so what I did was this is one of my swap cards for convention. And it's one of the magic cards. I'm going to be doing a video on this one as well. I originally did one of these. I think it was from a do-it-yourself, DIY, years ago when I first started stamping, and that was in the early 2000s. And so anyway, this is what I'm taking to convention. So like magic, we get the color in there. But I had all of these ovals cut out and thought I need to do something with them. And when I came across her video, I thought, oh, what a perfect way to use up my scraps. So that's what we're going to be doing. This is one of our other swaps. I made two different designs. Now I've got to come up with something with all these circles that I used, which I'll come up with probably a little another kind of trinket type thing like that. But this one also pulls up, and again on the design of the magic card. So let's go ahead and get started with making our tissue box and go from there. All right, so what you're going to need for this project is a piece of your, let's set these off to the side, but you're going to need a piece of the whatever color you're using, your cardstock. This one measures 7.5 by 7.25. Then you're going to need designer paper, which is 2 of them at 3/4 by 2 inches. And then you're going to need 2 each of 3/4 by 3 3/4 inch. And another 2 that are 2 inches by 3 3/4 inch. Okay, so let's go ahead and score this and get ready. So you want to find what measurement, let me get my handle out here, what measurement, so you make sure that when measuring on your score line, you've got the right one. So this is the 7 1/4. This side is the 7.5, and I like to start with my 7 1/4, which is my shorter side. And we're going to score on the 7 1/4 inch side at, let me make sure that I'm in frame here because I was out of frame last filming, so I want to make sure that I'm in. There we go. I'll move it over a little bit. Okay, so we want to start off with a 1 inch score. So we'll line this up here. Make sure you've got your scoring blade and not your cutting blade. And then we want to score at 2 inches. So we move it over to the 2 inch mark. And then we want to score on this side. The last one is 6 1/4. So we'll move that on over here to 6 1/4. All right, so then when we turn it, I always turn it to the left, and now you're on your 7 1/2 inch side, and you want to score at 2 1/4. And then you want to score at 3 1/4. And then 5 1/2. And I'll have all these measurements on my blog, so if you miss any of them, they'll be on my blog. And then at 6 1/2. So let's bring it right over there. Okay. All right, so let's set this aside. We don't need it anymore. And what I thought too we'd do, just for fun, I like to see glitter and stuff on it. I'm going to, let's set this kind of out of the way so we don't get it where I don't want it to be. But I thought, since I'm using the copper from the leftovers of my card and everything, that I would go ahead and do a copper mist on here to give it a shimmer. And so by using the new shimmer paint that we have, and this is the bright copper, and you want to shake it real well before you mix this. Use one of our misters, and then take and put 91% or higher alcohol into it. And I usually fill it up to about this distance here, and then I put 1 little drop of the shimmering paint on it. Shake this up real well too once you get it in, and then holding it at a distance so you don't get real squirts, but it dries so fast it's not a problem. But I like to give it a quick, well, let's Okay, so just mist it lightly like that, and it'll dry fairly fast. And then while it's drying, we'll go ahead and cut the pieces that we need to cut. Okay, on this first, looks like I may have had this one a little crooked. Let me straighten it out a little bit here. Let me double check this one. This is on my 7 1/4, so that would have been at my 6 1/4 here. Guess it would have been line this up. That's lined up at 1 inch. I'm just going to straighten that out. I got a little carried away with a slant on it, so, and that'll be cut away anyway, so it won't show. Or it'll be covered, one of the two. Okay, so let's go ahead and get back to cutting here. We want to cut each of these score lines here, and I'm hoping you can see those score lines. We have them, this is on the short end. This is the one that had the 2 score lines there. I'll do that one next. But you want to go ahead and cut in at an angle this way, because what we're going to do is get our 2 angles, and then turn it, and on this side over here, you'll cut it at an angle in that way, and that goes ahead and cuts that piece out. Then you'll go ahead and come straight up your score line, and then go ahead and put your little niche in there. There we go. And then come on up here, and then put your little niche there as well, so that these will fold in nicely. And then put your niche there, or cut up to your score line, and then put your little niche. Okay. All right, so then we want to flip it around, and you're going to do the same thing on this side over here. You're going to have that little bit, and I don't know if you can see it now that this is dry. I've got a real pretty shimmering going on with the paper. It may be hard to see it from there. But I'm going to go ahead and cut that little angle there, the niche for it. And then you want to go ahead and cut all the way up this score line here, and then you're going to cut over, because we're not going to use that, but we can go ahead and cut each of our score lines here. That way it's a little bit easier to follow what you're doing. So we'll score each of the score lines. Okay, and so then we're going to come across here and cut out that bottom piece, and then you're going to make your little niche here and your little niche here. Okay, now we don't need this center piece here, so I'm going to go ahead and score it a little bit so I can see it a little better, and then I'm going to just go ahead and trim that completely off. Okay, and then you're going to take off this bottom piece on this one. Now don't get your last one, you want this hole like that, so don't go doing that. And then go ahead and niche again your little side so that you get a nice tuck there when you go to put this in. Let me go ahead and niche this a little bit more here. Okay, so now what we're going to do with this piece, let me go ahead and move the scraps out of the way, is let me get my punch here that we use. Sorry again, I cleaned up my craft room, and I didn't have everything here that I needed. But anyway, I want to use a rounder corner here on this little tab that will tuck in, just so it'll be neat and tidy. So we're going to go ahead and close in there. Remember, when using this punch, put your hand on the center, and it punches much, much easier. Okay, so we've got that. So let's go ahead and burnish our sides using our bone folder and get all of our little things done here, and then we'll put on our pieces that we've got cut out. Okay, let's go ahead and okay, and then this one, and then this one here. Okay, so let's go ahead and adhere all of our pieces now that we've got here. And then after we adhere it, I'll grab the Big Shot and we'll be using, I'll show you the 2 oval pieces that we did. Now keep in mind, there again, I was tired, I did 100 swaps, and then of course some of these 3D items and just a whole lot of things, plus of course doing my clubs and the like and getting ready for the trip. And I didn't pay attention to what ovals I had, and I cut 19 of these out with the wrong measurements inside. So if you look here, you see this extra little piece here? I had to improvise to get my smaller piece here, which I glued on the inside so that these tabs would work. So this time we'll make sure when we cut this, we cut the right measurements and using the right ones. So let's go ahead and adhere our pieces here. We want to put one of the pieces, and again, you can use whatever your adhesive preference is. And for the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and use this, and you want to center it in your piece. Put one there, one of your large ones, and then your second large one will go over in the other large panel. Okay, and then you want to take one of your small ones and you want to place it right in between here. This is where your lid's going to come down, so you want that real pretty, and try and line all of these up evenly with each other. And then one of your strips, your long strips here, is going to come down right here. And again, I'm trying to line it up and keep it in the center between the score lines, so we put that there. Your other piece here is going to go again the same way. We're going to line it up in between our 2 pieces in the score line. Okay, and then our last piece is going to go right here. And in between there, like so. Okay, so let me get my Big Shot real quick and we'll cut out the piece that we need to do there. Let's see if I got this where you can see it. I tuck in these little flaps here because my cut is going to be this one right here. Okay, so what I want to do is show you the 2. I use the stitched framelits here, and I'm using this size that we will cut the copper out of here to fit in the window a little better. And then this is the size that we wanted for the inside of the piece. So let's go ahead and get our plates up there. And put our center one there. We just want to kind of center it in there. Then put our other plate on top to sandwich it in. And let's go ahead and cut that. Okay, and then we'll pop that piece out. Okay, and then I save these because they're nice for other little projects and stuff. I'd make a cute little tag to hang from this as a gift as well. So let's move this over, and now we're going to bring our piece that came from our card, so we're not wasting anything. We're recycling pieces, and also they're from all these little pieces I've cut like this. I'm going to come up with some other card or project to use the outline piece. But here we go. Okay, so this pops out, and now this becomes the cover over here like so, and we'll put us a little brad so that it'll slide back and forth. Okay, so what I get out of this, or I got a bunch of these, so now this will make a cute little card of some sort, so we'll put that for when I get back from convention, and I'll have something to work on there. All right, let's move this out of the way. All right, now we'll start going and putting this together. Okay, And you can either use Snell adhesive or for today, I'm going to use Snell adhesive, but if you wanted it maybe a little sturdier, you could use your glue or your tear and tape, whichever your preference would be, okay? So let's go ahead and we're going to do this here, because those are going to be on the inside. And then we'll turn this over, and we're going to be doing this down, okay? And then on this side here is another place that I like to put it, and just run you a strip here. But again, when I did all of those other ones, I did use my tear and tape on that, so you might want to do the same thing. So what I like to do is I bring over this piece like so. Let me get these out of my way here. Okay, so we're going to square this off like so. Then we're going to bring up this piece and tuck it in, because this piece here where I've got the adhesive, we'll use our bone folder and tuck it in. But what I want to do is square off my edges here and make sure that they're centered and give it a little fold there. And then what I like to do is come inside here and use my bone folder for that one piece and make sure those are down real well. And then you just bring this on over and close it up, and now you've got your bottom. Okay, so now oh, look what I did. That's okay, we still got time to fix it here. I usually put this lid on, got talking and not paying attention, but anyway, we'll just go ahead and put this through here. Let's see if I can do this without poking my finger. We did it. Okay, and let's get one of our brads here from... Let's take one of our copper ones, and we'll just line this back up here. You can feel where I had it there. That's why I like to do these at the same time while they're flat, because I use my sponge and I go through it, and while it's still on the sponge, maybe I didn't go through the other way. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring our brad in, and then bring our brad through this way. And then I'll have to open it in the inside. Make sure it flattens out real well. Okay, so now we've got our little turn there. So we'll go ahead and put in our tissues. And all you have to do is pull off this piece here. Well, let's go ahead and do it. That way you can see how the tissue will come out. And then I just tear it. So all you need is to buy, and I think there's 6 or 8 of these that come in a pack, and they're real economical. So just put your Kleenex in there. And if this doesn't want to fit down, what I find, sometimes I need to trim it just a little bit. It looks like this one's going to go down. But if you need to, just trim your little edges a little bit. And there we've got our cute Kleenex box. And then you just come in here and pull your Kleenex right out. Okay, so that's it for today's project. And I hope that you have a pleasant day and blessed day. And we will see you next time. Happy stamping!